Hey everybody, I'm here today to tell you how to make your car last longer. If you want to extend the life of your car, if you want your car to last hundreds of thousands of kilometers or miles, then this is definitely the video for you, because I'll be going over a few specific things that you can do to greatly extend the life of your car and make it last a long time. Let's get right to it. The first thing that you should do is read the manual and the maintenance schedule. And you should do this as soon as you take ownership of the car. Whether it's a new car or a used car, you should be reading the service manual and the maintenance schedule. So you want to read the manual and the schedule for the maintenance, because it'll allow you to know, number one, how everything works, which will allow you to treat the car properly. And you also want to make sure that you know how to maintain the car properly, because maintenance is actually a key ingredient in extending the life of a car and making a car and its engine last a long time, okay? The second thing that you should do is don't drive the car as much. If you want the car to last more years, then you have to use it less within those years. Now, I'm not telling you to not go places. I'm just saying that if you're gonna drive the car somewhere that you can walk easily, like if you're driving it down the street to, the grocery store to get a bag of milk, then instead of driving it down the street for that short distance, you can walk down the street, because every time that you start the car, that's an additional tiny little piece of wear and tear on the car. Every time that you drive the car, that is putting more kilometers or miles on the car. So if you can walk somewhere instead. Don't drive as much. That's a good piece of advice that I can give you for extending the life of a car. Okay? Tip number 3 is to check the fluids regularly. Check all of the fluids in the car regularly. Make sure that they're topped up to where they need to be. Make sure that they are the right color and the right sort of consistency. You want to make sure that your fluids are where they need to be, simply because they are absolutely vital in allowing a car to run properly. Okay, some fluids allow the transmission to function and to run smoothly. Some fluids allow you to brake. Okay, some fluids allow the engine to maintain a regular temperature and not overheat. So just check those fluids. The fourth tip is to change your oil regularly. Some people think that oil changing is not an essential part of allowing a car to run, simply because they might miss an oil change and completely skip one, or they might be late for one, and they feel like, oh, my car is running perfectly fine, I guess I don't need that oil change right now. Just because your car feels like it's running perfectly fine does not mean that there's additional wear and tear being caused on the car by you not changing the oil regularly. So with that being said, changing the oil is absolutely essential. Make sure that you do it on time, and definitely don't skip any oil changes, okay? The fifth tip is to replace your brake pads before they become overworn, okay? Now, a lot of people will hear the sound of a brake pad being worn, and they'll just drive the car for like an additional 6 months without changing it. And that does a lot of damage, a lot of wear and tear to the entire braking system and everything, that all of the components that correspond with braking in the car. And you don't want to cause additional wear and tear on the car, because that will actually reduce the life of your car and make it not last nearly as long as it can. So the moment that you think you need your brakes to be replaced, whether it's hearing the sound, whether it's feeling excessive vibration in the brake pedal, whether it's seeing that they need to be replaced, hearing it from a reputable mechanic, whenever you know that your brakes need to be replaced, get them replaced before they become overworn. The next tip is to not drive aggressively often. Now, don't get me wrong, cars are meant to be driven aggressively from time to time, meaning if you floor the gas pedal, if you redline the tachometer, you can do that and you're not going to cause damage to the car. If you don't do it often, if you do it when it's needed and only when it's needed. If you're flooring your car every day, multiple times a day, you are going to reduce the life of it greatly, okay? That is a fact of the matter. Sure, it might be okay for the first 150,000 kilometers, but once you get to a certain life of the car, then the wear and tear is really going to kick in, and you're going to see some serious engine problems with the engine components. So don't drive aggressively often. Keep it to an as-needed basis with regards to redlining the car or flooring the gas pedal, okay? And the last tip for this video is to wash your car often. Now, by often, I mean probably about every week to 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks is fine, depending on where you live. Now, the reason that I'm telling you to wash your car is because there is a buildup of stuff that gets built up within the components of the car. So on your brake rotors, in the brake system, underneath the car, especially if you live in an area where it snows and they use salt to get rid of the ice, like where I live here in Toronto, Ontario. That can cause a buildup, and it can cause rust to last on the car, to form on the car. And if you have a car where you're treating the engine really, really nicely, and it's going to last 300,000 kilometers, but you have a ton of rust on the car and it's falling apart, you know, the body life is also part of extending the life of the car. Just so you know, it's not only about the engine, it's about the body as well, and the components that are on the body of the car. So with that being said, those are the things that you should do to greatly extend the life of the car. Basically, you have to treat your car nicely. You have to treat your car as nicely as you can. Follow the maintenance schedule, treat it nicely, make sure that it's running properly, and use all of these tips to your advantage. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know what your tips are for allowing a car to last longer, and what is the most kilometers that you have ever seen a car have. Let me know what your answer to that question is in the comment section below. And above all, please be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.